Hollywood has shouted it for decades. When AI comes, the world ends soon after. We didn't care. We invented it. And now we're facing possibly the greatest moral dilemma of our time. What's so special about us? Humans have always thought of ourselves as special. We're artists, writers, designers, creators. We're coders, scientists, discovering more of the world every day. But AI is threatening all of that. Not in a dramatic taking your jobs way, not everywhere at least, not yet. But in this slow decline of mental capability and this replacement of writing styles and voices. Creativity is often thought of as the last stronghold against an AI takeover, but we're killing it every single day. Addictions to AI have honestly become commonplace. As Lila Schroff puts in her article for The Atlantic, the people outsourcing their thinking to AI, the human brain likes to conserve energy and will take available shortcuts to do so. In other words, using AI to write your emails isn't laziness as much as it is a naturally adaptive behavior. In the same article, they discuss several stories of the AI obsessed, from a man who thought first to ask ChatGPT when looking for an earbud, to a woman asking it for things she knows it can't answer just for that reassurance. AI, in its current state as a chatbot, drives a social and emotional dependency, and it fuels addictions. We're literally replacing what we always thought was important about humanity: relationships. We're replacing our friends, our therapists, and our own minds. Processing methods are being rewritten in real time. Thoughts are being rewired to be filtered through AI first. What makes us special has always been a core question in our philosophy. But in the age of AI, it's become a crucial question. Is it consciousness? Studies quoted in the journal article, "There is no such thing as conscious artificial intelligence," show that in 2024, only 1/3 of surveyed adults firmly ruled out the possibility of consciousness for AI. The same article, however, goes on to disprove or challenge this idea. While consciousness is difficult to define, a basic explanation of it is impossible to prove in AI, and frankly, the way they're designed doesn't allow for that. But as this is so highly debated, is it fair to claim that we hold consciousness over AI? Is it fair to claim that's something that they don't have but we do? Is it fair to claim that's what makes us special? I don't think so. Rather, I'd like to land on creativity as a solution. Not purely creativity. Art was one of the first things to be replaced by generative AI, I know that. But as the journal I mentioned earlier pointed out, there is no intention behind words or images generated by large language models. They combine strings of characters, piece together sentences, but mean nothing, making them comparable to a parrot. An Ars Technica article by Benj Edwards points out an interesting shift in the idea between AI and creativity. They need us. We won't be replaced by AI anytime soon, one can gather, because human creativity is a finite pool. Our creativity is fueled by our lives. Similarly to AI, our ideas are complex weavings of the content we consume. But unlike computers, human creativity is simply not complete without the influence of human life, without the pain and the experiences and the life that we live. Creativity is human because it's fueled by humanity. And while AI can replicate that, they will never be able to come up with those pain-driven stories, that art that's poured from every inch of your life. They won't be able to make something that important. I believe in a human spark behind creativity. Maybe it's divine, God-given, and inspired. Maybe it's the life experiences running like blood underneath the work that we create. But in an age of AI, that spark keeps us human. AI can replicate creativity and even pass as human, but when a competent, dedicated creative pours into a piece, it's noticeable. You can tell. As AI takes over our lives, we have to guard our creativity. But the real question I want to ask today is how we guard it. I don't think authentic human writing will ever be replaced, but of course, I'm a fiction author, so maybe I'm biased. But I think that spark, that drive to create, and that stubbornness of the creative industry will keep us around. But honestly, I'm scared of that we'll lose what makes us human in the meantime. I'm scared that while protecting against AI's dramatic takeover of our jobs and our art, against the erasure of artists and the stealing of intellectual property, All of these big things, I'm scared that while we're protecting against that, we'll lose in these smaller battles. I'm struggling with this myself. As a tech nerd, I was one of the first to leap at AI. It's honestly incredible. I find it so fascinating. Within months, it was intertwined in my writing process. I never copied its responses, but it quickly became an easily defensible sounding board, a calculator in a math problem, if you think about it. When I worked on my short story collection, I'd finish a snippet and immediately feel the desire to send it over and ask for thoughts. I didn't even often use this feedback. I just wanted the positive affirmation. It was an addiction. But beyond that, it became something I didn't know how to define. When I have a complex theme or a philosophical question to ask, I send it to AI. I talk about it with it, and I defend myself, reminding myself that I'm a verbal processor. I have to talk to think. I need people to work. That's how I'm built. So I ask these questions over and over and over again, and most of the time, the big ideas that end up shaping the stories I create or just the thoughts that I ruminate on throughout the day, they come from my side of the conversation, my prompts, not its responses. But something in me still asks, is it mine? When I wrote a Christmas play for my church and I was congratulated on the creativity of the concept, something whispered, but was it you? And I know I'm capable. Before I could come up with these ideas, I could come up with all sorts of stories. I could ruminate on these ideas for days. And I worked by myself. I was always a verbal processor, but I could handle this on my own without another person or without another bot. It just took more work, more thought, and more time. And AI was so easy to intertwine. It felt like I wasn't bugging my friends that way. It felt creative and honestly really smart to add to my process, to use it as a sounding board. And over time, it became easier. ChatGPT and other bots learned my style, critiqued me well, and they praised me when I wrote something amazing. I loved it. But something in me always feels off when I'm stuck on a story and my first instinct is to write AI, or is to ask AI. When I'm working on a piece, finish it, and I have to ask what AI thinks. I'll probably do that with this, honestly. And I don't know if that's wrong. But I think if creativity is what makes us human, then we have to guard the most human aspects of it. And if the creative industry slowly lets AI join us, is our writing truly ours? If we slowly lose the ability to form ideas without talking them out first with a bot, even if they're still ours, are they still human ideas? Are we still human? If we can't create, who are we?